Oh, wonderful.
Wait a minute, no talking. Oh, come on.
Right.
I'm gonna call the meeting to order. It's 8:32 a.m. We'll follow the rules of conduct of virtual meeting. This meeting is being held in person and virtual. Anyone joining this meeting virtually will generally remain on mute except when speaking or voting, or generally be keeping video themselves turned on throughout the meeting. If anyone virtually creates an audio or visual disruption, they may be manually ejected from the meeting upon recommendation of the chair running the meeting. First on the agenda is approval of the March 11th, 2026 fiscal policy meeting minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look at them or review them or have any comments? Yeah, you abstain.
I'll make that motion to approve March 11th minutes.
One second. Okay, any comments? No,
I abstain.
you abstain. All in favor?
Aye.
Walker? Yeah. Okay. Correspondence, there's a few handouts here. Some of it is, during the budget process, I put together kind of a history of the mill rate plus what throughout the year, if we use the general fund to keep the mill rate down, it's just for review, just a reference. Maybe if you use it the upcoming budget season, we'll have it. And I'll add this year's budget to it once we get to that point. It's probably for the tri-board. Just to have a history of what we've been doing the last number of years. It kind of came up during when we were doing the bands with the financial advisor and stuff, and some questions that Standard & Poor's had asked. So this was put together just so we kind of keep track of that. And Standard & Poor's kind of noticed a few things.
Well, this is also important. We have to get the word out in kind of like an accounting education series that we do, that we've been taking 2 mils out of the increase almost every year through general fund use reliance.
1 mil.
Well, if you look at
1 mil most years,
Well,
2 mils.
right, but when you add these two together, because this is projects that we paid for with the general fund during the budget, and this was just to lower the mill rate, the first big number. So those are serious dollars that we've had the luxury, because we were frugal and had a good general fund, to be able to do that.
Yes. The next handout has to do, we're deciding what to do about the budget bills and all that stuff. I worked with the assessor and came up with this spreadsheet just to kind of see how that, if we were above the minimum or the maximum on the motor vehicles. This is not actual numbers anymore because everything's changed, but you can see that if we had to set the mill rate, had to set 2 mill rates with motor vehicles, we went above 32.46, and how much it would increase basically the kind of like an increase in the personal property taxes and the real estate taxes due to going above the max motor vehicle. So it does have an impact when we set the mill rate higher than amount of motor vehicles, because we can't set the mill rate above the 32.46 until the state changes that. So it just would have meant higher property taxes on homeowners. The next one I have is what's been published on the referendum vote. Mark, Barb, and I still need to finalize all the reductions, but this is just something that went out to everybody. I'm sure everybody's seen it online too. It's the summary that went out before the referendum. And the last one is just the memo that went out to the tax levy assessors so they can get the bill starting to show what the mill rate would have been if we did not have any state aid coming into the general fund. We would have had an additional 4.39 mil increase, making it over 35. So it's just things to look at.
What if we did one that showed what the state aid should have been based on their promises to support?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Why not? Because our mill rate could have been a lot lower had
Well,
they actually hit their requirements.
well, fortunately, we were able to, yeah, if we didn't get the extra $117,000, that would have been higher.
What if we got an extra 500,000 like they should have given us?
Well, then that probably would have been one mill rate less. Yeah,
Right,
so,
that's my point.
So if we learned anything during this season, we need to explain more. And I think that they should know what the state is supposed to be reimbursing us for special education
And pilot.
and pilot and what they actually reimburse us. It's not the town.
yeah, well, we can get into that when we get down to
Yep.
that part, so, yeah, just wanted to just give this all as a reference point at this point. But I'll move on to the old business. The HVAC project update, do you have any updates as we move along?
Well, Barbara,
They're working.
they're working, but
I saw a lot of piping coming in yesterday.
is there a big hole in the roof?
Mm-mm.
No,
I don't think that's been speaking.
On Thursday.
right, and we have one today, so I'll learn more at 2:30, which is the operating meeting. And then Thursday at 11.
10.
You told Rob Hellstrom 11.
It's 11.
It changed to 11, I thought it was 10.
Yeah, because at the very end, somebody said the best time for everybody.
No, that's another meeting you're thinking.
Oh,
of.
that's the after meeting.
Yeah. I'll call Robin.
So it's 10. That's the invite that I got.
Okay, so the invite went out as 10 for that meeting.
Yes. What's being discussed by the central hall meeting?
Well, we have to approve invoices. We didn't have a quorum for 2 meetings, and in our charge, the minimum quorum is 3 people.
So Dave can't make that meeting on Thursday.
I didn't see that.
Who?
Dave Kaiser.
So.
Okay,
you'll
so we
need-
have
you'll
Rob.
need Rob or the alternate.
Well, we didn't
Oh,
put that as alternate because Bill's concern is a conflict with you as the finance director being on
But again,
approving the
Mark-
invoices, but it's up to me to.
But you told me
The town
she's
attorney.
there as an alternate to be able to vote on financial payments so we can get them out. And then she's able to leave.
And that's what I thought would be
we didn't
okay,
say-
but Bill said, I want you to verify that through the town attorney before I give you
I
an
know.
okay.
But we didn't give him the full information. I didn't want to overstep, but that's how you sold it to me. So I said, fine, she's the financial person anyway, but what's,
Right.
Yeah, I vote that we pay the checks. Let me write the check type of thing.
So you don't have a quorum then tomorrow?
Well,
No, we
we may-
do. We
we
put Rob Hellstrom on,
If he can show, but he works on Thursday.
so he'll have to alter his work schedule to be able to accommodate it. He said, just tell me if you need me.
Okay.
So I guess I do need it.
I would come sooner than later. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
So no updates until after those meetings, really,
Correct.
but we know they're working. Well, what I have been told though is all the ceilings were replaced prior to school. And all firewalls needed.
We're not
There's no,
positive.
there's no fireworks, but until the ceilings go up, we won't know definitely.
Yeah.
But I thought B-Wing's getting close. To getting the
They're
ceiling.
all-
So they're getting close, I think. Mike mentioned the other day that there's a possibility B-Wing could be taken care of with the ceiling soon.
Okay.
So,
So we just started July, so they still have 2 months, right? And move to ceiling next.
I don't know the pattern.
Is any wing done?
Substantial.
So no.
A-Wing has ceilings. So that's the plus. That's the plus. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we'll move on to the bands update. So end of June, during June, Mark and I attended meetings with Standard & Poor's. We ended up closing, I think it was June 24th. So we did close out the old bands, the bond anticipation notes. And the money came in with the new bond anticipation notes. It was a little stressful because we had to make sure that the money came in before the money went out. I worked with Webster Bank to get the whole thing done and it's fine, so it doesn't mean we're totally fluid, but we paid back and now we have basically the net of what we need. For the HVAC project for the next couple months. I did get the money from the state, but I need to contact them because I don't believe they gave me the correct
Higher or low?
lower.
They gave us lower.
So based on my things, I have to look at the calculation again, but I think they're giving us the incorrect reimbursement rate, which is the newest one, not the one we were approved at. So, I have to get back in touch with the lady because she just said, well, there's 5% retainage. I said, I understand that, but I said, I'm gonna recalculate again, but I'm pretty sure they gave us the incorrect reimbursement. So, I will follow up with them. And I will be asking for more money soon, once we send the next check out for, so tomorrow I might just send it out what I have right now, just to keep it going, so, after I confirm the reimbursement rate. PFAS update, I know Mike's been working, still didn't get that system up. With Aquapump, the state has approved everything for that system, it's a go. He's right now working with Public Works and Facilities here, to help get everything hooked up. Hopefully within the week, we'll see more action over there. The building is coming around the 21st. And,
That's the building that houses the new filtration system?
yes,
It's like a carefree.
Yeah.
yep, and, yep, if they can get it here sooner, they will. Fortunately, right now, it's not, with the weather and everything, it's a little held up, but,
The slab report.
there's no slab, I think they're gonna do, gravel and all that stuff, so, I think Mike is gonna follow up with that and find out where we get at that. I think it's the weather, didn't get in yet, but he's supposed to follow up with him with later. But I know that he is gonna help with drilling the holes and stuff like that, that they need to get the piping and all that in, so.
Who's spearheading this?
And Sylvester.
Mike,
How's Mike doing?
Better and thank God.
Yeah,
Okay. Can we make sure that he has a second person who's as knowledgeable, who's tied to him on this? Because if if anybody has, health problems, we want to back up.
well, he's been, since Pete is aware of the project and stuff, they have talked, so he knows about it. I don't know how much I think, but they're supposed to connect this week.
Okay.
They also, the water tank did get cleaned. I think there was something that, one more thing needs to be done down there, but it's done.
they had to clean it and coat it or
Yeah,
something.
that's fine. I have a question, because we got a call yesterday from an engineer who did PFAS and filtration systems with Fuss and O'Neill. He offered his assistance. What is he gonna do for us now that we're already like a full go with Aquapump?
Well, the school's
Done.
going fast and furious. We're checking before we do fire department in town to make sure we're all in agreement that Aquapump is the right solution.
Well, I hope it is, because if it's doing the school and the state approved it, I would hope they're the right solution to carry on for the rest of the town. But
They're one of
okay.
the state approved vendors for this.
All right.
Is the other state approved as well? The
I don't know.
other one you mentioned?
We don't know. It's just another way of filtering called resin.
This is a retired engineer who did all these things for Fuss and O'Neill. He lives in town. He helped with.
He is not suggesting Fuss and O'Neill. He's just
No.
offering his
He
company.
wants to
Right.
look at all this stuff, his consultation services. And
We've had other subject matter experts reach out to us with their ideas.
they had concerns
Right, so
about
we
the.
just want to vet them in advance of doing something.
Makes sense. As far, people had asked me about the grants that we potentially could receive for reimbursement. Had we waited and gone through this process, we would have spent more money on the water.
I understand.
Right.
No.
Yeah,
Something like this, the faster we move, the better. I get it.
And based on the meeting, if I remember correctly, there was no total guarantee we were gonna get approved for money. And
What's
we
that?
Waited a year.
What is that? Do we have an end amount this system for the school is gonna cost us?
It's about 75 to 100 grand.
Like
It was under 100. Yeah, because I think he also still has to get the electrician. It's moving along. We're just hoping, we'll see which gets done first. But the water company has been fantastic to work with. I do recommend them. They're very good about coming timely. We need it last minute. They're here within hours if the water all of a sudden drains, so they're very good. The 25-26 budget update. I'm just letting you know, I'm just being out all last week and trying to catch up and all that. I don't have firm numbers yet. I will try to get them in within the next week or two. Because I know the town's gonna have numerous transfers to be done. Trying to just formalize everything, get it going, since at the end of August, I have to file that monster report that I always enjoy doing. So I know right now there is some money left over on both sides. Not gonna quantify it, but I know like at the last end of spring, there were some grant funds that came in. They also HVAC been reimbursing for the fire monitors. There's another, I think, $7,500 going back in to cover the rest of the cost of the fire monitors, which is gonna be basically applied to the PFAS project, pretty much. And then just going on the town side, I believe there's some money too that we can apply to the PFAS if we just get that purchase order going. So
I have a question about the fire watch reimbursement. Is the fire watch reimbursement was it paid out of the HVAC?
Yes.
System account? Shouldn't we put it back there so we have a true accounting of money paid and received?
yes, it's gonna be in there.
Oh, but you just said we were gonna use it for the PFAS.
No, the budget, because she's gonna have money left over after getting reimbursed for a couple of things, that there's money in surplus.
Okay, so we both said it's kind of the same thing. You did say reimbursed for the fire watch.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that should go into the HVAC.
That's where
fund.
money's coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, yep, total accounting of it. Yep, so I'll update everybody as soon as I can get through. Get some postings on all that stuff.
Are we keeping Senator Austin abreast of where our expenditures are and what this is gonna cost us? Because at one time she said, the match of 52.5%. We said it's way out of whack because the engineering was not really equivalent to the bid specs, and it came in higher. And we had already been awarded the 53% or whatever. So I think we just put in a call to her and ask her for a meeting.
I also,
Sooner than later, so she can try and go after some of this stuff for us. And just as a keep her.
I talked to Tim Ackert. He told me as well while we were in the parade to keep him informed. He's not out of office till January.
Right.
And I talked to Attorney General Pong in the parade and talking about PFAS. And I said, how are you coming with your lawsuit against the manufacturers of PFAS chemical? He said, we are suing them. We're in the process. He asked me how much we were anticipating. I said at least 200,000, possibly more. So he wants me to keep him informed as well.
Okay. Okay, good.
Okay, now let's get on to the 26-27 budget process discussion. Thought this would be going to do like a brief rehash of what went on during the budget season. I know Judy, I know you have to leave by 9 o'clock, so I figured I'll let you go first if you have any comments of the budget season.
You're on mute too.
And frozen.
She has to do it.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Right, so as you know, we met and set the mill rate at 30.75, taxes payable August 1st and January 1st. Most of the IPAC meeting, we talked about what we'd like to see in the future in terms of increasing people's understanding and helping people focus on the right level of information. I think one of our big challenges during this last session was people doing really deep dives into narrow areas of the budget, and frankly, perhaps believing themselves more well-informed about different functions in government and how they were staffed and working than perhaps they were. So I think one of the most important things is to find the right level of knowledge that will help people be informed and make good decisions. And also to make sure that people participate in a useful way in the ongoing meetings throughout the year. And I think as part of that, it came up several times about the Board of Education not being able to have public participation because of technology issues. And that was something that FIPAC members all felt was we needed to analyze what the issues are with that and see how we can best address them, because I think that people need a much better understanding of what the Board of Education is responsible for and what you need to do to fulfill all your responsibilities as a board, Gina. So that's another thing we want to work on. So relevant to that, FIPAC has decided to meet this month and perhaps even meet in August to start outlining a process that we think will be most useful for this and help us all agree on what information we'd like to see people have, and just, obviously looking back at this year's process and see if we can identify any pressure points, if you will, that we can perhaps alleviate. Because as we all know, next year is not going to be easier than this one. So Bev, do you think I left anything out from our discussion?
No, that pretty much was it. I agree.
So that's where we are for next year, and obviously wanting input from everyone at this table about the process of what you think is the best way to proceed. Obviously, the information comes from all people at this table, but we also need to just approach it in a way that has a structure and a plan. So everybody's not having the same conversation in some different place at a different time, which is easy to happen, I think, in this kind of situation. So we are meeting next week, and hopefully we'll get something out to this group to talk about how to go forward.
Yeah, thanks, Judy. So who'd like to go next? Do you have any comments, Steve?
You know me.
Yeah, I know.
So, in listening to Judy, I got to think, the tri board we have, I think we should do that more than once a year. I think we should start at the beginning of the school year, maybe August or September. What your concerns are going forward, the budget that they gave you, and then we should meet December to talk about the upcoming budget, and we should work together probably March, April, before we get put in front of FIPAC and they pick a number for us to reach. If we keep them posted throughout the year, it's a lot easier to say, we went over this in August or September. You realize we put the new contract in, and this is what you're going to see in a need for next year's budget, 3.8%, 4.2, whatever it is. And the other thing is that I learned is And I said to Mike, you can't say the average is 7.2 increase in salaries over at the school and have people go, well, who got more than 7.2? Well, nobody. Well, somebody had to if the average is 7.2. So I don't think that we explained the steps and stuff. We could give an example. And you could say, teacher X, they got their masters, they get extra money because it helps them in their performance. They've been here 5 years, they get a step just for that. However it goes, because I'm not sure either. My daughter, teachers, I know they're there. If we explain them, the crowd, we kind of calm the crowd down a little bit. But when we talk in August or September, they will know the upcoming year. I mean, Chief said it yesterday, last night at a meeting. He said, we're looking at a 3 mil increase next year right now without doing anything. And he's pretty close because he and I talk a lot about the fire department and the future of it and stuff. So on the town side, I'm starting now to review our budget, forecasted for what we need. And not only do I find that I have to work with the board and keep them abreast of everything, get their not their commitments, but their comments and stuff. I also find that I need to build my defense wall, my financial defense wall, I'm calling it. Because they'll go, why do we have to pave any roads? Okay, that's a good question, but here's the reason we have to pave roads. Here's the reason we have to put a new truck into service over in the fire department. Here's the reason that the money is where it's at. So when they have an argument, we can go, well, that's a good question and a good concern. However, this is what we have. With you, your stuff is more contractual. Okay, that's a good question, but we decrease size of, we increase the size of students per class like you had to last year. We haven't changed it. But contractually, we have an X amount of increase. And so there's already money there we can't play with. So the bottom line is we work together sooner than later. Hopefully it changes something. We're up against a social media giant. Because everybody, or the 5 people who are most influential, sit behind a computer, and they do show up at meetings and say very little because they throw all their fodder out there during the week or 2 weeks, and it puts us in a bad spot. But if we're explaining things more, like the lady said, well, how much has the town decreased? Well, there's really not a lot of decrease. I just move money around to even up over the years and more of a linear payment type of thing. And I was waiting for somebody to say, okay, well, if you didn't decrease anything, let's find something to decrease. We did a few things here and there, but we have to be better prepared. And we have to work. I know somebody said, well, their money is their money and your budget's your budget and everything. We can work together. Okay. So that's my point. 5-pack, the three boards have a very tough job. We're all fighting the same dragon. Social media. I'm sorry, that's how I feel. Because anybody can throw stuff out there, and none of it is 100%. But we're not 100% right either in our responses when we can be better in our responses. So we'll work together on that, I hope. In communication between our entities, we probably need a little bit better on that also. So that's my input. I mean, we've got work to do this year. It's like this year or next year is going to be worse. It's going to be worse. So.
I agree. I think I love your idea of meeting more frequently with the tri-board. I think that from our end, we have a communications committee that we're going to ramp up and start to think about some of the common questions like you mentioned that got asked. One of the things we're immediately reacting to is there's some really big themes that came through of like confusion, one of which is regionalization, right? And so we took action, and had a special meeting we're gonna be getting an unbiased opinion on regionalization, in addition to consulting with a community board that's formed. So we can get ahead of that really hot topic next year. There are other items that we have a big list from luckily the exit survey feedback and, you know, just the process in general that we're going to take in the communications committee and start to put together like either infographics or FAQs that we can post and have readily available way in advance of budget season. That way they understand how we got to the decisions that we got to around here. I'll throw it out like administration, right? We get a lot of questions around administration at the school. So we are hearing what the community is saying, and the communications committee is going to be directly reacting to some of those big themes so that hopefully, to your point, Steve, we can get ahead of the dragon before it's out there. And then we can, if we want to push through social media, but we also have other forums we can push through, we can point people to our website, FAQs, they can read it. We thought the budget book was a great first step, which I think it was. To your point, we learned some things about how to frame up, you know, salary lines, for example. Maybe we should have stripped out the transfers over because that would have lowered that salary line to what the actual net change of salary. So definitely think there's always areas for improvement. Want to work together with 5PAC, want to work more closely with Board of Selectmen, and we will stand alone, be taking those major themes and breaking them down into lane terms to get ahead of questions next year.
The first thing that we should do, I know the Board of Selectmen will do it. We talked about the general fund. What's the general fund going to be after this payment of all the bills and everything? The Board of Selectmen are going to explain why we have a surplus. Not that we overtaxed you last year or we pulled the wool over your eyes and got special money. We're going to explain that 2 positions, 3 positions were not filled. That's this money. Something came in as a grant. That's this money. And I know you've done that. But if we put it out there now, people won't go, oh, look at the school gave back $250,000. Why did we pay those $250,000 in taxes if they didn't need it in the first place? Okay, wait, there's a reason. There's a reason the town will have some money left over. All right, I talked about it all the time throughout the year. How's the general fund look? Why does it look like that? We didn't fill this position. We filled this position, they lasted 2 days. Now it's not filled anymore, but that's money that we allocated in our budget, but we didn't spend. So it's got to go back to the general fund. But people need to know this so we can say, we didn't overtax you. This is what happened. So
workman's comp, we have someone out.
right.
A year and a half on workman's comp.
I always tell people this in my day job, my finance day job is forecasting is an art, not a science.
Right.
Like there's a little bit of an art to it. Things change. And so it's like the weather. The weather report's never going to be perfect, right? Forecast, you try to get as close as you can, but things like that change.
Right.
So totally agree with you. The more transparent we can be around those hot topics.
It just takes fuel from their fire.
Right.
Just takes it away. And they're going, no, wait. We talked about this in August at the year end. This is why we had the general fund increase. Do you recall? And then, okay, we recall type of thing. We printed it out there. We sent it out in, social media form or whatever. So we have to be better. If anything I learned in this thing, tell them how we spend their money, because they can't stand us taking more than what they believe they should have to pay.
School budgets are even more fluid than
Right.
Kids move in, kids move out. Staff leave, staff come in. Somebody goes on maternity leave. So, it's forever fluid. Special ed, I was gonna say special ed fluctuates.
Yeah, we know. I want to tell you, when we met a month ago or before that, we sat down, you told me about kids that don't live in town and stuff, and they're trying to go through school and everything. And then somebody on Facebook or whatever, said, hey, we're gonna move to town. And I'm looking for a place, and my son attends EO now by using my parents' address and everything, and I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I'm thinking, oh, you son of a gun, there you go, there's $18,000 that somebody should pay us back, but you're right. So,
Undercover things that work does
I-
her role.
I get it, and that's the other thing, I said, a lot, put out information about certain roles.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm also gonna start a Finance 101 series
Great.
of this is the reval, this is how it works, and this is what you're going to anticipate in next year's adjustments to the value of your home, and what will that do to mill rate? And, try to set that stage, and then 101 on how do we explain our finances of the general fund? What's the general fund used for historically? What do we plan to use for in history? What are our big budget projects coming up, and what will they cost? How will we pay for them with bond issues and, boom, boom, boom. So at least nothing's a big surprise at next year's budget.
Can I just add one thing that's been on my mind too is how do we get to the population of non-social media people, right, outside of them attending meetings?
Well, yep, that's a very good question, because my wife always says, we go through town and she'll say, oh, I didn't know this was happening, and I go, oh my God, it's right there every time you're at this light, it's on that board, it comes once a month in this, we try to do this.
Right,
We actually do have to be better, so we do a monthly newsletter,
right.
we'll add town finance page onto that, okay?
Right,
That's
and
a
then
good
we,
thing.
we do the
Explanation.
Text
what
My
Mark's
Gov.
talking, that's a good thing. We have the Text My Gov, take a look. It's coming out this week, take a look
here's where you
for
find it.
information. We're never gonna be able to teach people who don't want to look.
Mhm.
But we will be better at getting the word out there.
Yeah, and Barb and I had talked about if there's an opportunity for you and Barb to do even like right in advance of the budget season, coffee chat with the senior center.
Love it.
I think you did one
I
maybe this
did.
year. I love that. If we could do it jointly, then I think that's a great way. And then to your credit, guys, you did a mailer this last round. I think that was like really helpful as well. So just little things like you mentioned, but showing up jointly, I think is important as we've talked about like that. Yes, we have collaborated on this and we both have each other's backs on both sides of the board. So doing a coffee chat that not just like at the senior center, but open it up to the public, right? You want to ask questions, come ask us. We want to with you.
I used to have monthly meetings with the first selectman. I think I had 5 of them. One guy showed up 5 times.
I know.
And I had them 8 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
6 o'clock at night, or in different locations. Paul Kabbalah showed up, and I don't need to talk with, Paul, good man, but I don't need to talk to Paul Kabbalah, one-on-one. I go, hey, you're here again. Any questions? No, I just wanted somebody to be here for you. I go, thank you, Paul. It was great. Nobody showed up.
I'm just, maybe right in advance, do a strategic place one with both of you at the senior center at both times, 8 and 6, and open it up to the public. And that way, there is that,
Right. There's no surprises for those who want to learn. So I agree. No problem. Well,
anything else?
Oh, just the finance update, just working on year end, prepping for the auditors. The auditors want to come in for their pre-audit during the day, haven't scheduled that yet, and then just gearing up for year end and tying up the budget, the new budget and the old budget and all that and move forward. So that's about it. And then next year meeting is planned for August 12th at 8:30. We'll send out, if anybody has ideas, just let me know. We'll get it on the agenda. Otherwise, nobody else has anything else to discuss. I'm gonna have some emotion to adjust. Anybody? Steve? I'll second. Barb? All in favor?
Hi.
all right.
Aye. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, Judy.